sometimes everybody's doing it because it works. Hey, welcome to Smart AF. I'm your host, Torie Mathis. We have got a great show for you today, so let's get started. We walk through our neighborhood almost on a daily basis. And what is crazy is that there are so many businesses coming into this neighborhood, and our neighborhood isn't even that big. Businesses, home service type businesses, maybe like plumbers or landscaping people especially, and they have no branding on their vehicles at all. Like it just blows my mind.
Which makes the ones that do have branding stand out that much more.
Oh, like that tree service. Like there is a tree service company that comes in here and they have their vehicles are marked and they put up the signs. And you might think that might seem stupid or whatever, but it's that consistency and seeing that name over and over again, that brand, that logo, that you start to think, oh, well, if they're using them, it's that social proof that it kind of makes you want to use them too.
Now, in that one section of the street, they had signs in 4 yards.
With the tree cutting service.
Right. So, I mean, anybody else is like, well, those 4 neighbors got them. They must be good.
Like if we needed, I would actually probably find them on our Facebook group and be like, who did you use? Because did you like them?
Yeah,
and I would feel good using them because there were so many people that already did use them.
Well, and this company particularly, I'm familiar with them, and we've never really needed tree service, but it seems right up there with roofers, between roofers and tree guys, like they drive big trucks, like put a ton of money in their vehicle. So I notice it when you see this gigantic truck that's worth $100,000 and it's got the company's logo on the side of it. It's either a roofing company or a tree cutting service, and that was what this one was. So I mean, I'm familiar with at least 3 of this guy's vehicles, and then we go and we see 4 of the signs in our neighborhood. And yeah, I mean, it's that subconscious level where you start connecting on all the dots, and you're like, that's who we call if we need it, because that's who we know. Why waste any other time?
So this doesn't mean that they have put up a billboard. Like, there's a way to get your brand out there and in front of a lot of people without having to do wasteful advertising like that. Vehicles, business vehicles, little signs, things like that. For home services, like that is such an easy way to get your name out there and to build up that social proof, especially when you're already in these neighborhoods. You're already in front of all these people that need your services. You know they have homes. You know they're going to have, if it's plumbing or tree service, they're already right there. And how many of these people are just doing nothing to brand themselves?
Well, it's a mobile billboard, right? When it's sitting in front of somebody's yard. But not only that, I mean, you could take it, it's like, who's at home most likely, right? One person, either the woman's there, the wife, the spouse, the grandparent, or teenage kid or something, because both parents are working, whatever the case may be. Now you've got this unmarked vehicle that pulls up.
Oh, you're talking, okay, yes, I feel this too. People, okay, so
right.
If they don't have their vehicle marked and you're coming to people's houses,
they're all dirty, there's nothing on them.
It's creepy. Who are you coming in a van?
And then you got neighbors like, what's going on there? Like, super quick fix, uniform, and a branded vehicle. Problem solved. You know exactly. Like, well, their toilet stopped up. The plumber's over there, versus this shady-looking child molester van that you're like, what the hell's going on over there?
That's not.
No, we get it with like Amazon every once in a while, or the mail or something will come in some random ass vehicle, and you're
vehicle.
Like, who is this walking to my front door?
It makes me uncomfortable. I heard with the Amazon people, though, that Amazon wasn't giving them things because they're contractors. So some of them went and did stuff themselves. Like, that's all you have to do. Put a damn magnet on your car. And they bought like a shirt that said Amazon. It was like a quick, less than $50, and they fixed the problem. And now they are branded. Now they're making people comfortable when they're coming to their door and leaving packages or ringing doorbells. It made a big difference. And not only for the customers, but for the person making the deliveries. So imagine how much better and how much more comfortable your workers could be if you had a branded vehicle and maybe a shirt with your logo on it.
Take a little pride in your business.
Absolutely. And this doesn't mean that you have to go and get your entire vehicle wrapped, your fleet wrapped, and all this super expensive stuff. Like, you can start with magnets. You can start with just a small, we've done that for some of the companies where they just have a vinyl, sticker that goes on there, not a full wrap, but just like the logo that goes on there. You could work your way up to something more.
Under $100, you're branded.
Absolutely. And on top of that, if you got little signs or something like that tree service that put the signs out, normally I think the signs are stupid, but when you have people like walking in their neighborhood or driving by and they see them over and over again, like, people do it because it works. Absolutely. What were we just talking about? There was something yesterday that they didn't want to do it. Oh, buying the pavers. We went and toured this new museum that's being built. And they were talking about that they were trying to do things for sponsorships. And so a bunch of the people were like, well, let's sell pavers or bricks that have people's name on it. And they were like, no, we don't want to do that because everybody's doing it. Sometimes everybody's doing it because it works. And like, those signs, they work. And again, signs aren't that expensive. Branding your vehicle is not that expensive. And when you're bettering the customer experience and you're getting free advertising right in front of all these people that want your services, like, it is a win-win, win-win-win. Win-win.
And some of these, like, obviously when you're working all day outside or under houses or whatever the case may be, like, you're obviously not going to stay clean, but you can arrive clean.
So you had this. We talked about this because you had this. Sean used to work for Pepsi. And didn't you kind of have this with some of the vehicles that you were driving?
Yeah, some of the vehicles were not up to par for what you would think a multi-billion-dollar company would have. For me, it was embarrassing driving around in some of these awful-looking vehicles that they just didn't make sense. Why am I driving a truck that's 30 plus years old with no air conditioning and the paint's flaking off everywhere, dents in it? And meanwhile, I didn't do any of that to it. Pulling up to these brand new establishments that they're nice areas, and now I've got a truck that doesn't represent the brand that they have in there. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal for them. And so then all I have left is what my personal appearance is when I walk in there. And so I try to make that look as good as possible. But what I look like going in, and if I'm underneath the counter and I wind up getting syrup all over me and I'm a complete mess, how I leave makes no difference whatsoever. It's how I arrived. And even in the military, working on airplanes, different than Torie, who gets to stay nice and crisp and iron tight all day long. I didn't have that luxury, but you still went to work in a clean uniform.
Like, there was no way you were going to show up looking crappy.
No, we weren't going to be worried about the iron seams or anything, but at the end of the day, the uniform's going to be filthy. Like, I'm going to have, jet fuel on me and oil and all kind, and it's fine. But at the beginning of the day, we look good.
I think with home service businesses too, it's just, I don't know. It's so important to make the homeowner feel comfortable, to make the employee feel more confident about them going up, into somebody's house. We talk about opportunities, and right there, branding, just some simple branding, it's a big opportunity to make a big difference.
Well, then you make that impact too. Going back to one of the other videos that we've had, where it's a missed opportunity if you're not branded. How are we supposed to know who these people are? We've got, a pool service and a landscaping service. Neither one of those companies are branded. Do you know the name?
I don't. Every single week, these people come to our house. If our neighbors said, hey, could you refer, your lawn looks great. I don't know, like, hope you grab them when they're here, because I don't know.
Could not tell you who they were. No. Could not give them a good review if they did a fantastic job. No idea who they are.
No, they've never left a flyer. They've never, left something like, hey, refer your neighbor and, anything like that for us.
Give us 50% off next month's bill if you refer your neighbor. Like, simple, yeah, I'll try. Here, check this out. You either need it or not. It's no loss to us, but if they do, score.
Yeah, and on top of it, like, their vehicles are not branded. Their shirts are not branded. I don't know. They clean the pool. I think they work for somebody.
But it's a missed opportunity that it's not just us, but that snowball effect of how many other people are they missing out just from us, kind of like Kevin Bacon. Like, how many people could we connect them to?
Absolutely. Just
from us, not even including all of their other customers that then have the same effect.
Well, you're a super good example of this because you always has a Miles Through Time shirt on. How many people ask you about stuff like that? Is that something that you find is helpful when you wear it everywhere?
Nobody's ever asked me about that.
You liar. People ask all the time. They're like, what's that?
Yeah, it's cool.
Classic cars, what's that?
It is, and I'm trying to think of where that last place...
we were at an antique store.
Yeah.
And the guy asked, and I ran outside and grabbed some flyers and came back in. And I was like, hey, come in. Like, yeah. Just because you had the shirt on.
And for me, like, it's natural for me to wear it, but what makes it more cool is when, obviously I'm not going to go wear some random HVAC's shirt or something like that, but in my world, if somebody else wears this shirt that they purchased either online or at the museum, that's pretty cool to see somebody else in the museum shirt. Because I do. I try to. I mean, I am a mobile billboard, so like, it's a missed opportunity.
It's a twofer.
I don't do it.
You have a shirt on and you're advertising. If your vehicles are coming in, if people are seeing them, like, you might as well put something on there so that you get something out of it. Maybe a lot out of it. Then you can go buy $100,000 trucks, like fancy ass roofers.
By the way, all these shirts for Miles Through Time were designed by Torie and available at milesthroughtime.com/store.
They absolutely are. And they look fantastic.
Or, of course, in the museum.
We hope to see you there.
Brand yourself.
If you want to get smart tools to build your business, go to besmartaf.com.